Hi there! Well, today's video is going to be a very non-technical review of the 2015 Kindle Paperwhite 3. I want to say right up front, this is not a sponsored video. I purchased this myself from Best Buy. It was $119. This is my first Kindle, so I did some research and read some reviews and decided that the Paperwhite was the right one for me. So I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about why that was, what I've used before, and just what led me to choose the Paperwhite. Also, just talk to you a little bit more about things that I love about it, maybe things that I don't love about, and just in general, my experience. So as I mentioned in the opening of the video, this is my first Kindle, and I did purchase it from Best Buy. The only reason I purchased it from Best Buy and not directly from Amazon was that it was available in my local store, so I could pick it up the same day, but you could certainly purchase it from wherever. I think they are pretty much price fixed. So this was $119, and you can pay $20 more to get the version that does not have these banner ads. My cover on this is magnetized, so when I open this up, I'm going to see the same screen and have to swipe it to unlock it either way, so I didn't really feel like it was worth paying $20 more to have those ads removed. But if you decide after you've purchased your Kindle that maybe you don't like the ads anymore, you can still pay $20 later on and go through Amazon and have those removed. But again, I don't really find them all that bothersome. So this particular Paperwhite has a 6-inch screen, and that's what you're going to find on the Classic Kindle and the Kindle Voyage as well. I was also considering an iPad mini, and the iPad mini, let's see, I have some notes here. The iPad mini was a 7.9-inch screen, and I think a regular iPad is somewhere around a 9-inch screen. So I had been using an iPad. I had been pretty heavy reader for quite a while, and then I put it away for a little bit, and then I recently came back to reading, and I was just really finding that one, I had a whole lot of eye strain when I was reading on the iPad, and that two, it was becoming a little bit heavy the longer that I would read. So I was finding that wherever I was, I always wanted to have some sort of pillow on my lap or something that I could use to prop the iPad up. So that really sort of started getting me interested in maybe some sort of other type of e-reader like the Kindle. So I started doing some research and reading some different reviews, and at the time I was looking for this, I had no idea that there was a new Paperwhite coming out. I really didn't know anything about Kindle. As far as I knew, there was just one version of it, so I was surprised as I was starting to do my research to find the 3 different versions of it, and I think the Voyage is a little bit newer. So I was really trying to decide, well, do I just want a smaller iPad, or do I want to go ahead and move into the Kindle? So having those things in mind about the eye strain and the weight of the iPad started making me think a little bit more that the Kindle might be a good choice for me. So as I'm going through and reading reviews, I discovered that the type of screen that the Kindle uses, the e-ink Carta reader, is a much gentler way to read for the eyes, whereas when you've got a backlit display like with the iPads or your laptops, I guess those are constantly refreshing in the background, so whether or not you actually see that on the screen, your eyes are registering that, and that is what's causing a little bit of eye strain. So with this particular Kindle, it is lit from the front, and one of the main reasons that I chose this Paperwhite version was the adjustable light. I just really like the idea that I would be able to read in sunlight or in a dark room without any lamp lighting, and I can adjust the light on this myself without having to worry about having any external light. But I also liked that the type of light that it had wasn't going to be hard on my eyes. One of my big concerns going into the Kindle was that if I was already having eye strain reading on my iPad, was I going to have even more eye strain because this was going to be a much smaller screen at 6 inches. I have found that to be absolutely not the case. In fact, because of that e-ink and the fact that it's front lit and not backlit, it's so much easier on my eyes. I have been using reading glasses to read both on my laptop and my iPad, and then I found when I started using the Kindle, I wasn't even reaching for my reading glasses anymore. It is so much easier on your eyes. There's a lot of contrast between the ink. It's just very nice to be able to adjust that light. So if I'm in a very dark room, I can adjust that light all the way down. It's just got a very nice soft glow to it. I just really love the feel of it. I like that there are different fonts that I can choose. I really like the Bookerly font, which I believe is new to this version of Kindle. I like the shape of the letters, I like the way that it reads, and I also like that there are different font size adjustments, so I can choose the one that is best for me. And I have mine kind of somewhere set into the middle. Another factor that was really important for me in deciding about this was definitely price. So the Classic Kindle is $79. This version was $119, and then you went up to the Kindle Voyage, which was $199, and then you've got your iPad mini that was $399. I think my main thought was that if I didn't get something like an iPad mini, would I really miss having access to the internet or having email or anything else like that? The more I thought about it, I just decided that I didn't really want those outside distractions when I was reading. I really just wanted to be able to focus on and be absorbed in the book that was in front of me. I also have the ability to have my phone with me, which will have the internet access. It will also have email. So it didn't really seem like I needed both. I don't really want those notifications and things coming through when I'm trying to read, but if I do need something, I can always just have my phone with me and get that same information or notifications across. So I just decided that I really wanted a dedicated e-reader. So after doing my research and comparisons and reading some reviews, it really came down to 3 factors for me in choosing the Paperwhite. It was cost, the built-in light, and the increased resolution of the screen. So at $119, I felt like it was a really good buy. It certainly is more than the $79 for the classic Kindle, but it's substantially less than $399 for the iPad mini that had features that I wasn't really sure that I even wanted or needed. I liked the built-in light on the Paperwhite. That was probably one of the biggest factors in my decision. I knew that I wanted to be able to read in a variety of light settings, and I didn't necessarily want to have any sort of exterior light, so I really loved that there was an adjustable light built into the Paperwhite that would allow me to read wherever I wanted comfortably. And then finally, the increased pixels per inch on the new Kindle Paperwhite, the 2015 version, was another deciding factor. Because eye strain was such an issue for me before on the iPad screens and the laptop screens, I knew that having the increased pixels per inch, it was 167, I believe, on the classic Kindle, and now 300 on this new Paperwhite version. I knew that that was going to make it even easier on my eyes to read, so that was definitely a deciding factor. Okay, so now we've talked about what led me to choose the Kindle Paperwhite. Now let me talk to you about why I really love it. So the first thing is the size, and now looking back, I can't even believe that I was concerned about the screen size because it is so easy to read on this Kindle. So I have it in one of these cases that is from Amazon, and I absolutely love it. This is a leather case, and it does have a magnetized strip here at the edge, so this wakes up and puts to sleep my Kindle when I'm using it or not using it. So let me just go ahead and open it up here, and then I just swipe it to open it. This is very intuitive to use. I didn't read any instructions, and as I mentioned, I'd never had a Kindle before. It was really easy for me just to charge this up and just figure out how to use it. It does have touchscreen navigation, which just makes it really easy to use. It was very quick to figure out how to adjust my light, which I can do really easily on that. I figured out how to buy books. I went to my Amazon page and I was able to quickly import books. I've actually been putting them on my cloud reader and then bringing them over here. I thought I might want the choice to have them on my laptop, but then I found that I really don't do that as often. But if you do have the cloud reader and you do have an iPhone, that would certainly be an option as well. But the home screen is here up at the top, so it's got your menu. It's just really easy to change your fonts. It's font size, font shape. I mentioned that I'm using Bookerly, which I really like, and I found a font size that's kind of somewhere in the middle of the spectrum that's really comfortable for me to read. And I have my light setting usually on about 10 or 11. Now last night I was reading, it was really dark in the house, and I did bump that down a little bit to about an 8 for nighttime reading, but it's been really comfortable where it is. I just also like that it's really easy to look at different words that you might want to look up on the dictionary. So for example, let me just try to find a word here. Here's a word, employment. If you didn't know what employment meant, you could just press that word and then your dictionary will come up and it will give you the definition of what employment means. If it's not a word that would have a regular dictionary definition, it will pull up a Wikipedia explanation for you if one is available. Something else that I absolutely have to talk to you about when mentioning the Kindle Paperwhite is the amazing battery life. So I purchased this on July 6th and I charged it right away, all the way, fully, and I have not needed to charge it until yesterday, which was July 31st. So this lasted almost 4 weeks. I have read every day out of those last 4 weeks except for maybe 2 or 3 days. And when I sit down to read, I read for about an hour to 2 hours at a time. Now they say the battery can last up to 6 weeks, and I think that's at about 30 minutes a day. So your mileage may vary on this. It really will depend on how much you read. I have had my Wi-Fi on. I've had this light on the entire time, so I've been so impressed with the battery life. I was definitely not getting that with the iPad or any other electronic device that I had. I was just so impressed that I could have even gone past the point where I charged it. It did still have some battery life left, but I wanted to make sure that it was fully charged for this video because I didn't want it running out of me through filming. But I'm just so happy with how that's lasted. If you wanted to travel and you didn't want to bring a charger with you, you could definitely charge this and probably have, depending again on your reading time, maybe up to a month's worth of reading, but certainly probably a week or two very easily, even if you're someone that reads quite a lot. So those are all the things I love about the Kindle and why I chose it. Now let me talk to you about a couple things that I just don't like as much. So the first one would be the swipe to unlock feature. I kind of wish when I opened it up with my cover that the text was just right there wherever I left off. I don't really like that I have to swipe every time to get into it, but it's really not that big of a deal. It's just a minor annoyance. The other thing that I wish was a little bit different, you can see here on the chapter that I'm reading, it says 3 minutes left in the chapter. I really wish it would tell me instead of how many minutes I have left in the chapter, because that's a little bit subjective. I wish it would tell me how many pages I have left in the chapter, because those minutes can move up or down based on how quickly you're reading. And I would really like it if it just told me you have 2 pages left or you have 10 pages left. Then I could decide if I want to go forward or if I wanted to find a stopping place and be done for the day. So those are just a couple of things that I've noticed. So overall, I am so happy with my choice of the Paperwhite. I have never regretted getting this versus any of the other versions of the Kindle, and I have not missed having the extra features of the iPad mini. This was the perfect Kindle for me, and I'm so enjoying it. I love that I could pick it up and start using it right away. I love that it was really intuitive, just so easy to learn, especially when I didn't know anything about using a Kindle. I've loved that it doesn't cause my eyes any strain. It's so easy to read on. It really is, like everyone said, just really a pleasure to read on. It's very comfortable to hold even for a long period of time, and I've just really been enjoying it, and I really can't recommend it enough. So I hope that you found this video helpful. I thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye-bye.